This is all Kyle's mom's fault. Shut up, Cartman. Kyle's mom is the one that started that damn club, and all because she's a big, fat, stupid bitch. Don't say it, Cartman. Wait. Don't do it, Cartman. Wait. I'm warning you. Okay.
Hello, peasants.
Want to kill all humans?
What's there, dude?
We'd like some money.
Yeah, money.
Money is cool.
Aren't you ashamed?
We got whores in the city. We need backup now.
Don't be so dang literal.
Well, you've got one heck of a nerve.
Oh my God! The government is here! Run!
Hey, barkeep, whose leg do you have to hump to get a dry martini around here?
Ich bin ein Springfielder.
Shut the hell up. I've got the strangest feeling someone's gonna kick his ass.
Do you have the link?
Up, everybody? Totally
Sup?
tuned.
Hi.
Hey.
Big live stream. What's up, everybody? It's 4th of July.
Yeah, happy birthday, America.
I'm wearing the colors today. Oh no, did I freeze already?
No, I think you're good where I am.
Oh, looks like I froze on the video part, but whatever. I guess I'm still not frozen yet. So, what's up, everybody? And
Hey
it's
now.
4th of July.
Hey now.
Technically, this is Leo's last episode. Isn't that wild?
Yeah,
Oh.
fortunately.
What a way to celebrate the independence. That's what did you say, Leo, last week? Is the independence of Leo?
Yeah. Independence. Fuck yeah.
But if you're listening to now, if it's 4th of July, I am currently in Missouri, actually,
Ooh.
Yes.
for the 4th of July. I'm hanging out with good old Derek because they got the Blade Braxton Cup around the same week, and I was like, oh, I want to go to that. I'm unemployed right now. 4th of July is around the same time. Let me see if Derek's doing anything. Let me just crash to Derek's couch for a week, like turn the tables on him.
Well, and so you
Right.
know what? It's really funny that you're doing that because I'll actually, since it's the 4th of July, I'll be coming up right after the holiday for the Blade Braxton Cup
You're
as well.
You, yeah.
Well, because we have work to do, James. I don't know if Derek's told you this yet or not, but you'll need to be bringing your sound gear. So I trust you already have your sound gear
You
there.
have 16 pages of dialogue.
No, we have 3 shots to get for Curse of the Weredeer. We have 3 shots of Game Warden.
Never ends.
Yeah, one is an effect shot in the tummy, one is a facial reaction, and then one is him dying on the ground.
Well,
That's it.
Yeah,
facial.
I'll bring as much sound gear as I can in my carry-on bag.
Yeah, one microphone and your mixer, and we're good to go.
But still, Blade Braxton Cup. I can't wait for it. That's going to be amazing.
It's gonna be. It's gonna.
What are
be
you all
a
gonna
good
do? What is? I don't know. I'm not familiar with that.
Well, it's a wrestling tournament, so there's going to be a big trophy and to celebrate the Midnight Rose Blade Braxton. So
Right.
the
Right.
Midnight Rose from that.
Yep. Yeah.
So Nicole, though, How's it hanging for 4th of July?
Yeah. My 4th of July is going well. I don't know. I don't love to tell people exactly where I am at any given point when I'm not at my house, but I will let everyone know that I am enjoying my time. I'm in California as always, hanging out with the hubby and my dog. So yeah, cannot complain. Soaking up the sun on this 4th of July, that's for sure.
Hell yeah. Any
So, Nicole, I'm really stupid. I forgot this when we were talking about Monterey. I actually been in Monterey when I stayed in LA for a month.
Oh,
We drove on Highway 1 all the way there, and then we drove
very
back.
nice.
I totally forgot that Monterey was that. Yeah.
Wow. What do you think?
It was like we did like what's the name, like Highway 17 or something
Yeah,
like this,
I
that you pay to enter
It's actually
the
very nice.
little golf area with a bunch of like cool views.
Very nice.
So yeah, we basically just did that.
Fun. That's definitely a fun way. I've heard that's very nice. I have not driven it. We wanted to, and then the web wasn't nice. But that is not where I'm going for 4th of July, mind you. But that's not where I am today. Actually, sorry, pardon me. I don't know where my brain is.
Yeah, this is definitely 4th of July.
happy
people.
4th of July.
Yeah, I don't even know where I am right now. Sorry, guys.
Fireworks is going off right now on the.
Bro, can't you hear them and see them in the distance? The beautiful fireworks show in
Yep.
Missouri is unreal.
Did you see that I rebuilt my room in Missouri?
Yes, it is shocking.
That's the magic
Very nice.
of the movies.
Well, what
Yeah.
it really is Derek bought a green screen, and James just took a mat before he left to go to Missouri, is what it is. He did a mat shot.
I did some decorating. Do you see? I finally got my Ant-Man poster up here.
Or two, like you're not gonna get that low, but don't know.
Or Love and Thunder. Love and Thunder was pretty rough too, man.
I don't know. I kind of enjoyed that one. I feel
I
like the
don't
goats they drag for too long. The same joke, but I don't know. I didn't hate it either.
Yeah, but I
don't-
like MODOK. I liked MODOK a lot. I thought he.
Yeah, when I saw the butt shot, I thought of you, Ben. But how's your 4th of July going?
Man, listen, let me tell you something. Seeing you guys right after the holiday, it's going to be tremendous. I'm very excited. Until I leave here, though, basically, it's just more of the same. Sitting out on the deck, watching the neighbors get drunk
Your family.
and shooting fireworks off. We do little or nothing, dude. We're not out in Nashville at the big fireworks show. I will tell you about the greatest fireworks show I think I ever saw was my first summer in New York when I was living in Brooklyn, right? So
The latest firework.
They got a lot of good fireworks in Brooklyn.
it was I forget exactly where we went, but me and the roommate, like we went out nearish to the bridge, and we were hanging off of these like light posts. Like there were light posts up, and like we just went out, watched the fireworks show. It was pure bedlam. The whole street stank like piss because people were drunk and pissing in the street.
That's New York.
Arguably,
Yeah, that's a Tuesday.
Yeah, arguably the greatest fireworks show I've ever been to, though. Like it was massive, and it
Ever
just kept
seen,
going.
The firework video. I mean, maybe we even talked about it on the show. But there's like the firework video where it's like I forgot what state it is, but all the fireworks went off at the same time.
Yes, yeah, I've seen
It
that.
looks like that scene from Malcolm in the Middle where it goes like full day for a minute and then it goes back to nighttime.
That-
It's just
Can
one
also see
big-
that on way there. So
I mean, listen, that's what we tried to do. You gave us that effect in the middle of what is madness, Leo. What is madness?
it was all like the creativity of John Burjo, the roommate.
Bro, I went back and I watched through that, and that bit again today was one of the funniest things that I've ever seen. One of the funniest things that I've ever seen. Also got a wonderful, well, sort of wonderful review about Weird Ear. Buddy of mine was telling his dad about it. And mind you, his dad's like in his 70s. And he says to his pops, he goes, yeah, it's sort of like what you think porno is, but Ben swears it's not porno. Is literally what he told his dad about the movie.
That's hilarious.
I was like, you cannot pitch my movie to people like that.
My mom asked me once if Cuck Island was a porno, and I just said yes.
You have to. You almost have to, right? Because nothing is more American than pornography.
Yeah,
Very
you're
true.
probably right. Yeah.
Very true. Very true. Well, Leo, how's your 4th of July going?
Oh, it's great. I'm in Michigan right now. So
Finally rid of us. You're gone
no,
forever.
that's like the bad part. But yeah, I'm enjoying up here. It's like probably like the second time I'm actually doing summer in Michigan ever.
Ooh.
Because I always go in the winter. Like I've been there before, I think one time only in the summer. So it's good to see like a different Michigan.
Was it the summer when you had your incident in Michigan on the
Oh
beach?
yeah, that I passed.
Yeah. Don't pass out this time, Leo.
Not to
I'm
judge.
I'm trying to work out a little bit, so I have like a better cardio, so I
Wow.
won't pass out in the dunes this time.
Well, honestly, me too, Leo. I've been needing to work out quite a bit. I'm trying to get into shape this 4th of July.
Oh no, I need to work out for, especially for, I keep telling Aaron, for September. I don't know did I mention in the last show we got tickets to go to Brazil in September. So
I
after
think you did.
You did.
I did,
Yeah.
right? So like after 5 years, I finally gonna go see my family. And I gained like some. I don't want to blame COVID, because COVID and all. I feel like it's who was gonna get this weight. But I'm trying to lose because Aaron's like, who are you trying to impress? I'm like, I just don't want my family to keep calling me fat. Like every time I call on FaceTime.
Oh, why do they say that? That's awful.
Yeah.
It's just you know how families are, especially I guess I don't know, Nicole, how your family is, but Brazil, we have a lot of Italian like culture involved, and everybody's always like too much on people's business and have to kind of tell how it is, I guess, to people's face, especially when it's like they think is a way of loving most of the time. But yeah, every time we call, they're always like, "Oh my god, you look so fat, and you're getting bald." Like just all the time.
Damn.
So at
Leo.
least I can't stop balding, but I can maybe be a little less fat. So
Joey
So-
is happy 4th of July, everyone.
Oh, thank you. So, Leo, to that end, it's another funny thing, and I forget what it was. I was watching something where a guy was referencing the way they age and how they age through like family's eyes. So to your point, to exactly to what you're saying, it's really funny because some people. Oh, it was a Mark Maron bit the other day. I was watching his stand-up special on HBO.
oh, okay.
On Max. He was talking about how family, when they see you, they're like, "Oh, you're fat. Oh, you're bald," and it's their way of dealing with how they're aging. Also, do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you age and change. It's sort of like a jarring thing for them because they're sort of processing, "Oh, I must have also changed." In a lot of terrible ways.
But at the same time, like before
Yeah.
I moved here, I even showed Aaron like one time this picture. Like not too, like a couple months before I actually moved to United States 9 years ago, I had like an health issue that I lost an actual weight besides already being skinny, and I look like those people there, like they don't have food. And my face was like almost like a skull, was like really bony. I was like really like extra skinny. So at the same time, like they if that's like the last thing they remember of me.
Yeah.
and now I have like a
Valid.
belly that I never had when I lived in Brazil. So thanks America.
Maybe they'll think you're healthier, you know?
Yeah.
Thank
First
you,
of all,
America.
first of all, yeah, it sounds like you're healthier now. Second of all, Leo, I think you look good. Like I don't
Thank
think
you.
that's like fair of them to say necessarily. And yeah, I guess at the end of the day, thank you, America, for all of our
It's a lot,
our
it's a
things.
lot
are
of
big.
processed food.
now that like you're leaving, Leo, we lose the hot one. You know,
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Excuse me.
You sure about that? I'm gonna do like what's the Netflix show? Are you
I
sure
think you
about
should
that?
Oh yeah, you sure about that? Yeah, wait a minute. The three of us are also hot. I mean, he's the Antonio Banderas of podcasting.
Yeah, I
but
just
three of
had
us
the
have sex
accent.
appeal.
Yeah, we're all like same level here. What are you talking about?
Oh no. I'm far
Like James
superior.
is
There's no
John
same
Cena of the podcast.
Oh, the
Yeah,
John
he got
Cena.
the shirt and everything. The helmet.
This
Which
is my
helmet is
favorite.
this one? It's the scabies one.
this one that gives you scabies.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how to transition from this on I guess
Yeah, well,
freedom.
what are we talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
freedom. Fuck yeah.
No, I got it. So in Brazil, you were very skinny. People were concerned about you. You moved to America. You gained some weight. Now you're looking happy and healthy, stronger than you've ever been. So it's clear to say you are Team
All
America.
right, yeah, I'm Team America, Brazil, or I'm going to Brazil and they need police there, like some other country going there and telling them what to do. Did that
Right? That's it's your turn now to go to Brazil and oh my gosh.
But yeah, Team America, World Police. Now, before we get into it too, first, like I love this movie. I've always loved this movie. I've seen it probably 100 times. But the big question is though, and I didn't argue with it because it's Leo's last episode, but does this really count as animation?
You're the one that
does.
picked Pinocchio
Yeah.
before. So
Pinocchio counts.
Well,
though.
that is not stop motion. What am I saying? That is like CG. No, wait, that is stop motion. Yes. What am I saying?
Yeah, and they have a lot of
No, this
animation
totally
to
counts.
it too. There's a lot of animation that goes into this. Is literally shot all of it in camera.
There's an argument for either one. I mean, I sent you all the Wikipedia page for this. This is Super Mario Nation, which sounds like Super Mario Nation. Super Mario Nation. So I do think it's animation.
I think it counts because South Park is animation and it comes from the same dad.
That doesn't.
No. It's this simple. Do those things move on their own? Do they move on their own? No. So they need to be what?
But here's I was on the behind the scenes. The cinematographer, I forgot what he had just shot before they said. It was some big movie. Matrix, yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
The reason why he shot this movie was because everything was in camera and he didn't have to shoot green screens or animate. It was all live.
He said green screen on the behind the scenes. It doesn't like Ben is saying. I guess that's a good way to see it.
Physical. I don't think when you're shooting this much physical, I don't think it counts. Everything's
I think Ben makes a good point that like they cannot move on their own, so they have to be like animated. Like there are animators moving them.
Are they a static object or animated object?
I mean,
So
an
it is
animated object. Yeah, I mean,
right. They become animated.
Or
They-
James
I don't-
is correct. The episode is over. See you guys maybe one day.
You go. Wait, can I just add here? Joey K, thank you. He's in the chat. Said Weekend at Bernie's is animated on that logic, Ben. But maybe
Absolutely,
maybe.
yes. Anything with dead animals, you animate. Like Trauma has a movie called Coons, and all the raccoons are actual dead frozen raccoons in the movie that people had to animate, that people had to position, pose, put in play in order for the raccoons to be able to move. So yes, Weekend at Bernie's, absolutely, it is partially animated. Thank you, Joey, for proving my point.
I don't think puppets are animated, but I do love this movie. And this movie, I'm like, what I immediately love about it is when it opens up to a puppet playing with a puppet.
Yeah, you're right. That was super cute. My gosh. Yeah.
And then the little like, French boy going like fair.
Yeah. He was adorable. Aw.
So to that end, with the puppet animating the puppet, with him marionetting, with him manipulating the puppet, right? There was such a thing in the back of my head the very first time I saw it. Like now you know it's coming up, but think about the first time you watch this movie. Don't you think it's almost gonna go out and you're gonna see a
Yeah.
person
Yeah.
like with the puppet at first? You
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
think so. And then they pull you immediately into this world where the puppets have puppets. And
It's like when I
and that in and of itself to me is unreal.
yeah,
That's
definitely
so good. It's like building these like sets just look incredible. I mean, like Ben, did you see this when it came out? Like, did you see it in theaters at all?
Yes, I'm 90% sure I saw this.
Okay, I have a question since you watch in theaters, because I watch a couple of different behind the scenes. I watched like 60 minutes on those things too, and it was mentioned that for the theater, they didn't have the sex scene to match the rating, and then they
That
add
too.
on the DVD.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when you see the puppet sex, is when it comes to home
Oh.
video.
Yeah, 'cause I've only ever seen. I mean, I've always seen it with the sex scene. I've never seen it
No.
Yeah.
like without the. Sex.
I've like never. Oh
I-
no, go ahead. That's okay.
No,
I've never
no,
seen
please.
this movie actually. This is my first time watching it.
Oh,
Oh,
shit!
okay.
You've
Yeah.
never seen this movie?
Yeah.
For some reason, I assume everybody I knew
no,
has
but
seen
I'd like
this.
Okay,
to add
let's
that-
let's get all the answers from Nicole now as someone that just watched
Yeah,
for
no,
the
I'd love
first
to,
time.
but I also just want to add that like the one thing I thought about and knew about prior to watching this was the puppet sex scene, because it's like what the actual hell, there's a puppet sex scene in this, like, you know what I mean? Like it's going to stand out to someone as being very unique in a movie. So, and it did not disappoint, I will say. It was pretty hilarious.
But like in
It's the
general, what
funniest
were you? I know
Oh.
we're gonna do the rating at the end, but I just want to know your like how when the movie finished,
Mhm.
like how was Nicole after
great.
the credits?
Yeah. Oh, great. Yeah. Amazing. Like I love this movie. I thought it was awesome. I could like honestly watch Super Marionation all day. I'm getting better at saying that word. I could watch this type of art all day. I find it very interesting. It's like, so prior to this,
Have you? There's the original. You know, this is based off of
Thunderbirds?
whatever.
yes,
Yeah.
Thunderbirds rules. I've been watching that a lot. Very cool. All of our listeners should check that out. You listening should check that out. I actually thought that like right until I hit play on this, I thought this was stop motion animation. I was like, oh yeah, we're watching a stop motion animated thing. So I don't know. I obviously knew very little like going into this what it was like what it actually was.
Be a big action movie with puppets.
Yeah, like I knew it was puppets, but yeah, I guess I imagined a little bit more of like a Pinocchio type thing, right? Like stop motion. But yeah.
I mean, I just love it. I think it's like either I forgot which one of them said Matt Stone or Trey Parker, but they said they wanted to make this big blockbuster movie like that would be like a Michael Bay movie, but with like puppets.
They
No,
succeeded.
but they were saying like everything is like, getting the technology so advanced. They're like, why we just don't take like a step back and see how funny this is gonna be if we do with something like kind of like
Yeah.
obsolete. Yeah, like what was your first time watching, James? Like you watch on TV, like
Yeah. I don't really actually. I really don't. I couldn't tell you the first time I watched it. I feel like it's like always kind of been in like my zeitgeist. Like I remember watching it, but just pretty sure on like DVD. I guess I don't know. I just remember watching it with my friends and just being like, "This is the funniest thing I've ever." It took me a while to realize it was made by the South Park people.
Oh,
Like I didn't. Know
oh really?
that.
They didn't
like,
put
it
all over the DVD, because that's how I kind of saw it too. Like they always.
I couldn't even remember, man. I just remember just seeing it one day and then finding out later it was the South Park guys. And then now being watching it, you can tell it's the South Park guys.
Oh,
because
all the voices.
of the voices.
right.
Yeah.
Like what's his name? Oh, is it Matt or Trey? It might be Trey. Trey is so recognizable.
them.
Yeah, it's both of them, right? But like that's a lead
Yeah.
Gary, so recognizable now, right?
Yeah, there's like one when like the lead Gary is like in the bar talking to someone. I swear it sounds just like Mr. Garrettson. Like
Like I hear Randy all the
Dude.
time. Like when he give.
You hear Randy in there. The one that they didn't touch on so much in here that they do in others is Cartman, and I think that's
yeah.
because Cartman had really kind of blown up
No,
at
but
that
Carmen
point.
it's
But-
change on. It's like a computer change. I've seen like one time how they make the voice. So he tried to make the voice, but it still is a pitch change in the computer.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so they can't make it just like on the fly. They have to go into the computer. whatever, an alternate. Cool.
Like he kind of make the voice to sound like the accent part, or even like a little like thinner on the voice, but it's still like the pitch change at the end.
Got it.
Pretty cool.
Got it. All I know is that from start to finish, this movie is absolute absurdity. Like, so, and we should get back to it at some point. The puppet sex scene.
Yeah.
But like in the very beginning, so do the jokes still sort of hit, because this is really like a slice at a time.
I was laughing my ass off. I mean, I still think it does. Weirdly enough, I think a lot of it.
But you
not
mean
so
like
much
what? Just
like
the sex scene or the whole movie?
No, the whole movie, like Rent,
I think the Iraq War stuff obviously doesn't hold up.
Yeah, I mean, but they're
I guess.
parroting Rent at the beginning when everybody has AIDS.
Yeah, lease. It's called lease instead of rent. Yeah. Yeah, I think that holds up. And I mean, I might argue, like, even though the Iraq stuff's a bit outdated, like, still this, like, notion of, like, America, like, being a superpower and policing other nations is very much still prevalent, right? Like, that.
That's like
tuning
literally how every other country see here.
Is like literally
Yeah.
these like, and it's so, I mean, like Andy like was watching it with me, and he's like, he hit the nail on the head. He's like, they go there and they like just destroy the cities, trying, like, quote unquote, trying to help, you know, like the Eiffel Tower falls in one, yeah,
Like a Power Ranger.
Well, yeah, and that got me thinking of a thing. Like, I always looked at this movie as a kid of like making fun of all these like people and things, but in reality now I'm like watching it, and it's almost like Matt Stone and Trey Parker are like making fun of us who are laughing at this, finding this shit funny. You know what I mean? It's like, here's your people who are like, you think you're like the heroes, you know, saying all this like mean shit, and you know, and then it's like really they're laughing at us, laughing at
That's
these
a good
guys,
point.
you know
Like,
what
they
I'm
are
saying?
making fun. They're like making fun of the right people, right? Like, I don't think they're punching down with this movie. Like, it, yeah,
Like
like
they make fun of everybody. Like they said on the interviews, they're like I think it was the 60 Minutes one. I forgot, because in the beginning it's like, oh, so you guys think it's funny? It's funny making fun of counterterrorism, like police or whatever, and they're like, yeah, and they're like, we just make fun of everybody. We just keep trying to make each other laugh, and we don't care.
And like you think was the behind the production designer said that all the places are designed as if it was America's point of view of these countries. So they're not based off even like real places, just our like way of looking at these countries.
Yeah, because like how they put the Eiffel Tower by the Louvre and then the Arc.
And the Arc de Triomphe.
Okay.
And like, I don't know if you noticed, like I noticed this time watching, and then I saw them talking this behind the scenes too. The floor stones are made of croissant shape.
Yeah.
Like everything's really, really ridiculous.
Yep.
I didn't notice that.
Yep.
Like this whole movie
It is
like everything, if you stop, is like 1,000 places to keep catching. Like I was watching them explaining, like in Panama, all the trees are pot leaves. If you notice.
I did not notice that.
Yeah.
That's a good observation, though. I'll watch it again.
Like the coconut trees,
I know they
they're
got, like,
in Cairo. They're like dollar bills, like ripped.
I know they got like quarters as like belt buckles, like
They
shit
have like paper
that.
clips on the side of their pants. There's like a bunch of like random things all over the whole design thing. They said that the most design room that they did was the one where's the sex scene, and then nobody noticed anything because you're watching two puppets have sex.
That's true. You're not really looking at the set design there. Yeah. It's fun.
But yeah, I remember watching this for the first time with the AIDS song, and I've like, it was the funny. I think that was the hardest I've ever laughed. Like at least like the happiest laugh I've had watching something with a group of buddies when they're just singing.
Right,
right.
AIDS.
But did you had an idea at all what you're watching before you start watching for the first time? Because like I feel like Nicole,
Yeah,
I guess
I
you knowing the little bit we mentioned, or that it's from the South Park people, you kind of like had like an idea, like even though you didn't know the story, you're like, shit gonna happen. But like I don't know for you, James, or Ben, when you watch, like if you have any clue what was about to happen.
No. You know, it's so what is it? 9/11 was just 3 years
Yeah.
before
Wow.
this,
Oh, wow.
right? Like this is 2004.
Yeah.
So 9/11 was just then. All of Afghanistan and Iraq and all of that stuff is just getting started again. So it's one of those things where it's like this was a foot in the ass, and it's the whole too soon notion that they play on in South Park,
Yeah.
right? Like when time and everything, when does it actually become funny? When can you make fun of it? And they beat their own thing to the punch with this because they completely jumped that gun. I never expected it to go near as deep as it went the first time I watched it. But the second that, like, in just the songs alone, so from AIDS on, AIDS takes you into it. Everybody has AIDS, takes you into the whole thing. And then when you first hear, like, America, fuck yeah,
Yeah.
it's a thing that grabs you, like, by the balls, and you're all of a sudden,
My balls, America.
fuck yeah. And it just takes you into everything. So, dude, I was bought in. Like,
And
straight
actually,
away.
I can remember, besides the hate song, the moment that also really sold me on this, like the absurd, like when I finally, like, I remember watching it for the first time and finally, like, or at least in a moment watching this, where I finally really got the movie, was when, like, they had the Shark Tank, and it was just like like fish tank sharks, like, and they just drop the puppet in there and he gets eaten by. I was like, now I really get what they're doing here. Like, it's just like a perfect way to sell perspective in like the funniest way possible. Like sharks. Let's just get these small
The
sharks.
thing like they keep
from
joking
pets.
the whole idea of the movie is like they really want to see first it started with they want to flood puppies, sorry, not puppies, like puppets, and then they're like, what are we gonna do to flood puppets? Oh, let's make a movie. and, but like the things like they said that they have like the happy part of them doing this stuff is like different ways that they can murder puppets. That's like what made them happy during the production.
I mean, and I remember saying that in the production that it was easy to kill a puppet or run it over, but then it was like impossible to get it to like turn around and give it a thumbs up, and have like dialogue and move and talk.
So the other point where I felt really bought into the whole thing, also right at the beginning, when they get ready to do the karate fight.
Okay, right. Yeah.
Where they toss the weapons down and they strike the poses, and then it's just like two puppets going clickety clickety.
Have you seen the BTS of this at all? And I've brought up a lot, but have you seen it all, Ben?
Yeah, absolutely.
So they show that scene, and then the camera pans up to the dudes above with the string just going like.
But like one of the things that's kind of like this too, that I feel like of course when I watched this first time I was 14, so like a lot of things I saw, like someone singing AIDS in the beginning, like it killed me too. And then they're like super serious, like follow me, and then the puppet go like.
Oh yes, yes.
Right.
He walks like a puppet. Yes, I noticed that too. He's like, "Follow me," and I was like, "Yeah, there you go."
And then his legs barely move, and it's so fucking good.
Also, it's crazy. They said that sometimes they need like around like three people to puppeteer one puppet, because you have like a bunch of controls. They have like the whole face with a bunch of like different motors to make the emotions, and then you have like the
I mean, like watching this, like I look at this, I'm like, man, this would be so much fun to make something like this and do all this shit. It looks so cool. And so I think we probably talked about it too with the claymation, but at the same time, it's like the amount of man hours and like the little details put into it, like to make scale, like all the props. You know what I'm saying?
That is so much
There's so many little
Yes.
details. Yeah. Like three.
and they mention like if you need like a bat right now, you can't just go in the store and buy a bat. You have to make the certain size bat for the character they have. So it's like you make everything like really difficult, and you have to use what you have there, because you can just go and buy an apple.
I'm sure they have like a scale, right? They have like, here's the length of our people in perspective to a real person.
Oh
And then
yeah.
the props have to be measured from whatever they really are to that person's perspective.
But you know they
You
have
know, to,
different
like, make-
scales too,
Of
right?
course.
I don't know if you saw this one behind the scenes, but they were saying like the studio, everything is like like the if you see like the like everything they use, like the Panama scene or the frame, like everything,
Yeah.
it's like a big studio, but still don't have enough space to do the whole perspective thing. So they had like the scale that's like the main one for the movie, and then they have like smaller
Oh, like,
puppets and everything to
Yep.
Yeah, they did like a
feel
full-
like
Yeah.
it's deeper than it is.
You have to though. You have to. It's the same thing they did on Pinocchio too. They do
Yeah.
it with claymation stuff. You have to have those varying sizes because you're never going to be able. You can't build like a scale city. You can get close to it. You can do portions of it, but you can't scale down an entire
And
city.
at the same time, it's
Thing.
gonna look the same anyway on camera, you know, depending what your shot is. So it's like, you know, might as well just make it smaller and cheaper.
No.
You know,
Shots,
There might-
lenses, everything. Yeah.
it reminds
Yeah,
me, like,
yeah.
you guys ever watch like Arrested
Yeah.
Development?
Oh yeah.
There's like the episode where it's like the Japanese like investors are coming and they didn't finish building like the rest of the they
Oh
call it
yeah.
the complex, so they made it real small and put it in the distance.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So silly.
Yeah, force perspective is great. And actually, and I've been learning. Actually, I've seen a lot of cool shots using force perspective. There's like fuck, I can't remember the name of this. It's a movie watch with these like demon monsters. It's like what Stranger Things ripped off from like the 80s. Enter
Right.
the Gate or From the Gate, something like that. But all the monsters, which looks like kind of stop motion, but all the monsters are real people. And then what they did was there's like a scene where like this dude collapses to the fall. This dude collapses to the floor and becomes like a bunch of little demon monsters running around the room, and the mom and the kid are holding them, you know, right next to the door. But in reality, they shot the mom and the kid in front of the camera, and they had a bunch of real dudes in like costume way in the distance, and they matched it up so it looked like they were
Oh.
little guys running around the floor in front of the
That
mom
sounds
and
cool.
like
What's the
and
name?
kid.
You don't remember the
Incredible.
name of the movie?
Something from the gate. and
It's the gate. Yeah.
Because I
Oh,
want
it's
to
the
check that
gate.
out. It sounds like a cool movie, or at least
Well,
that
you
scene
can see
sounds
like
cool.
It's-
a lot of those too, on like those really old movies when they didn't have like green screen and they have to
Right.
do like the map paintings, and then with the whole like size too, or even Lord of the Rings, they did a lot of this with like Gandalf, with
I
Frodo.
love that type of stuff. Like, would you call that practical effects? I think that
Yeah.
is a practical effect.
That is, yeah.
It is practical. It's just force
Yeah.
perspective. You're doing it all in camera.
I
so
love
it's all
that.
practical.
I love that stuff. I think it's very, very creative, as opposed to like what we're doing now, which is like all CGI and green.
Like actually, I remember one of the first things I ever shot with a camera. I got a Godzilla toy, and I remember I shot it like really close to camera, and it looked like gigantic. And I like moved it across screen, and I thought it was like that was the moment I figured out force perspective, and it was
Nice.
the coolest thing. I ever
That's
realized at the
adorable.
time.
That makes sense with Godzilla too. That you
I was
would,
like-
yeah, that's cool. Nice.
There's an amazing, and I forget the name of it, but there's an Instagram account that's basically runs you through a bunch of like old force perspective stuff, like the guy setting up the train and he's dropping in like the fluid to make the train run, and you watch him and you see it all set from the side, and then the camera slowly turns and comes to the side, and then everything clicks and it looks like the train's running and the smoke's coming out the top. There's the Stegosaurus one, pretty, but
You know the
I
Instagram
cannot
name?
remember it.
I
to
feel like
save
I've
my
seen
life.
this reel.
Let me see if I can look it up.
Yeah, it's a pretty sick reel, but there's a whole account based on just force perspective stuff. It's pretty awesome.
What I really love too is some Zucker brother gags where they like to fuck with force perspective, but not in like the way you think it would be. Like I think it was I can't remember the Val Kilmer movie they did, but it was like one where a guy goes to pick up a phone and the phone is really close to camera, so it looks huge. And you see like the dude's talking to this. He's like, "All right, I gotta go answer the phone." Instead, he turns around and picks up a gigantic phone. Instead of-
Like
I feel like a Naked Gun kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or someone has like a watch, you know, like the watch is like right next to camera, but instead of if it, like when he turns it, it's really just like a gigantic, like huge watch.
like shit like that. That's a joke that's for like people into camera stuff. You know what I mean? That's what that joke is for. Like that.
Good point. Yeah.
Like that's for like cinephiles. That's for people who understand that. But
But yeah, use of force perspective is great. I mean, obviously smart with puppets because yeah, they had to build these big sets. Imagine like having to build the whole set. Like that would have taken them like years to make this thing.
Did you guys happen to watch any of Lloyd's interview with them while they were on set for this?
I feel like I've seen like a picture of Lloyd on set or something like this, but I don't remember watching a video.
Was he just shoving his camera in their face again?
Exactly. It's on. It's part of the Make Your Own Damn Movie DVD set. The Trey Parker and Matt Stone interview. They're on a couple of different ones, but it's while they're in production on this. He goes to the offices, and they are completely just burnt. Like they're burnt to a crisp. They are
doing this shit.
They are tired. They are angry. They are unhappy. And then there is fucking Lloyd shoving his camera right in their face again. Tell us about the movie. Tell us about what's going on. Like, why puppets? Why puppets? And both of them are like, never again. If you're gonna make a fucking movie about puppets, don't make a movie about
really?
puppets.
Oh, wow, okay.
But at the same time, like
It's
everybody that worked
hysterical.
on the movie from the first BTS that I watched, they're like, we're never gonna work in the movie as great as this, and unless they make a sequel, this is like the highlight of my career.
It is, and artistically, it really
Yeah.
is, dude.
Yeah.
This is a fucking high watermark for
It
so
feels
many
like a big movie. Like I said, they wanted to be like a Michael Bay movie, and it feels like that. You know, it feels like that high action, like explosions,
Yeah.
gunfights. Like as goofy as like scale wise, it feels like the blockbuster.
So I was watching that
like, huge.
behind the scenes, interview, whatever, with like the cast and crew, and this was the first Super Marionation movie to like go that big with action sequences. Like this type of art has been done before, but this was the first movie where they went as big with the action sequences. And I didn't.
Got the kung fu.
Yep. I rewatched some of the action sequences to like see, and it really is impressive. And a lot of things I'm like, how the heck did they pull that off? That's wild.
But they said like on one that I watched too, that like in the beginning nobody knew anything. It was just one guy that knew and was like teaching everybody. But I forgot to mention James. What's his name? I think is Bill Pope. Bill Pope, the cinematographer for this. He did Quantum Mania too.
Oh,
he
shit.
did like the things like they're so impressed
And
that
then back
the Matrix dude. He did all the first three Matrix. He did the first three Spider-Mans with Toby. He did like a bunch of shit that's like huge, and they're like, we're not gonna get this guy. And then he ended up doing this.
But even I remember in his interview, he was also like, "Why do you want me? I don't shoot miniatures." So Matt Stone was like, "Why do you want to be there?" He's like, "Well, why do you want me?"
And the whole thing that Trey and Matt, they're like, "Oh, we got the Matrix guy. Let's do like that Matrix thing because it's puppet. We can just stop them in the air." And then they're like, "How you do this?" And the guy's like, "I don't know." It's like, you just shot Matrix. And he's like, just put it in a computer. I don't know.
See, and the fact that becomes the answer. Just put it in the computer. I don't know.
Yeah.
And they're like, no. You have to.
And the thing with this movie is that everything is miniature. So it's like, that totally changes your entire way of shooting anything.
Right.
You know
Oh my
what I
gosh.
Mean? It just you can't shoot the way you shot the Matrix. It becomes a totally different.
Wow, no, thank you. I think I'll pass on working on the sequel, guys.
Whole new movie.
It
It is
so awesome.
What?
But it also looks so awesome.
Oh, it
like,
does. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what we can do one time that would be kind of like this, but not. We need to make a movie that is with real people, but pretending they're puppets. So everybody has like strings on it.
That's like No Strings Attached, the music video by NSYNC.
It's true, yeah.
No, it is. That is like.
And to keep like the strings always up, we can attach them to drones. So
Beautiful.
I like
we can
that
film
idea.
outside. Yeah.
It's still puppet you from like remote.
Innovation happens here on Totally Toonular. This is why you can't leave, Leo.
You're-
What are we gonna do without these ideas?
You,
Oh, I'm leaving to have
Can
more
you
ideas
imagine-
for you guys.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
how big? Can you imagine how big your drone team would have to be in order for that to happen? Like
Your
you would
drone-
have.
like,
Just film one
100
person at a
people.
time, and then you compose everybody.
Oh, put it
How do
on.
we know it doesn't happen already? That we're not all just strings by some person's like God in God's game of life, right?
It's true. Imagine
That's
how
the-
loud is like a scene with like I don't know, like 10 drones. You're like, like James Nightmare.
Well, that's why you just ADR the whole.
Oh no,
thing,
yeah,
you know,
it
do-
would
do
be
it like-
funnier too, since we're like puppets. It can match perfectly the lip syncing.
Absolutely.
And like that was actually I was watching with Chili Beans and he was asking me, "What do you think they did for sound?" And I was like, "Well, they probably just recorded actually all beforehand, like they would do any kind of like cartoon or animation thing." And
Okay.
then we were watching the yes, and they played back the dude's voice. I forgot the commander, the dude in the office,
Oh,
whatever his name.
yeah.
They were like when they were puppeting him. I listened to the footage and you can hear his voice being played back live.
Carson?
I know, but did
There-
you see that like
No, not Carson.
Trey also
Lots
as he was directing and having the scene, he was also rewriting a lot, and sometimes he's just like talking, like
Oh yeah, I mean that's sure, and they do a lot of their. But I'm saying too, it's like usually it's easy to record that dude's voice, beforehand,
Mhm.
so you can match his.
Oh, okay.
And then
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that does
Change
make
it.
sense. Can you imagine
That's like-
working for Trey and Matt Parker? Like, imagine they're your bosses, right? Like,
I can like I love them, but my anxiety would kill me.
Me
because
too.
They love to they I think they said on their interview like one thing we have in common from college, like we don't procrastinate the night before. We procrastinate like at 5 a.m. the day to give the
Yep.
paper away.
Yep.
Yep.
And Trey was saying like I can't. That's the only way I can be creative. It's literally like South Park, like we saw before. Like
Yep.
he needed to make the episode like almost a couple of days before releasing.
The 6 days to air, and then so much of it is last minute. Is all
Yeah.
last
I
minute.
mean, a lot of the shit I've worked on has all been done last minute, so I think I can handle pretty much
I mean,
any kind of
there's
high stakes ready to go.
Nice.
Let's shoot this deer scene at 3 a.m. Just meet up with-
Like if you think like all South Park and everything they do is basically a Project 48.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
'Cause, they
Yeah.
were talking about it in the behind the scenes of Team America, right? Like they were like saying they like improvised a lot of lines. They were like, "Oh yeah, no problem. We have like a crappy script. We could be funny in the moment," you know? So yeah, I guess they are just
And
kind of
probably why they do. That's why they probably do a lot of their own voices, because then they can just do whatever the fuck they want. Don't have to listen or direct
And
anybody.
Yeah.
they keep I know like most of the time they're joking, but they keep saying a lot like we hate actors. That's why we got puppets.
right. That was also obviously very
Yeah.
prevalent in this. Yes. Yes.
Definitely
And
hate
they
actors
you
for
feel like
sure.
they're saying like, oh, none of those actors puppets that we had the real actors, and if they wanted to be, we would have said no.
right.
So
Because then they could do what they wanted to do with it. They could do what they wanted to do with it.
I mean, yeah,
Uh,
that goes to my favorite one. I think everyone's
Matt
favorite,
Damon.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
And literally, I love that there is no thought process to it. They just saw his face from like he looks stupid, and they just started doing voices, and we're like, okay, we're just gonna do it. There's no like,
They
there's
probably
no
had like,
reason
a whole
behind
monologue for him that they cut it out. And that was like one of the most like the best recurring jokes in the movie if you think about.
Oh,
Matt
of
Damon,
course.
yeah.
I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
Think about Matt Damon, all these amazing movies he's done in his lifetime, right? All these big movies, Good Will Hunting, Jason Bourne, whatever. But at the end of the day, everybody goes up to him and just goes, Matt Damon.
That is hilarious.
Also-
Funny because
Nobody
it's true.
Oppenheimer.
So I know nobody asked how I watched for the first time, but I'm gonna say anyway. So at that time I was 14. I had no I never even watched South Park because like I probably mentioned before, in Total Tuna, I started watching South Park after Shitstorm, so
Right.
it's kind of recent.
Damn.
Yeah,
Wow.
like first when I was a kid, I
Damn.
was forbidden to watch like those kind of cartoons
Yeah.
because my super religious family. Now they can't control me. No strings attached anymore.
There you go.
Uh,
Yay.
So at that time, there was like a local uh, film rental store around my place, and every Friday I would go and get like 4 DVDs to watch or something. And for some reason, I'm like, I'm gonna try this one. I don't know why, because I would never like rent like a puppet movie. and then I watched it, and I was like almost pee my pants watching.
Was it in Brazil? Like, was it in
Oh
Portuguese?
yeah, it was in Brazil. I don't remember if I watched in Portuguese. No, because maybe it was at the point that I started watching everything with subtitles. Because no, I think probably watching in English, to be honest. But like,
Because I want to know what, like the Portuguese translation is when they're just going like durka durka durka.
I gonna try to find if I can find something, because now I'm curious too what they're gonna do with that. But I
Well-
just thought was like the funniest thing I've watched at the time. And then when I returned on a Monday the DVDs, I think the guy that worked there, he never watched it. He's like, "Oh, what do you talk about this?" I'm like, "That's like the funniest shit I've ever seen." And then when I went down a couple weeks later, he's like, "Dude, like this lady came here asking for something funny for her kids, and I recommend this that you recommended me." And she came back yelling and screaming, and she's like, "How dare you?" And I was like, "Oh."
He should have watched it. He should have watched it before recommending it to someone.
But at the same time, I'm
That's
super curious. At what
greatest.
point this mom that ran for her kid, what was the thing that made her stop and take the DVD out of the player?
Good
Because
question.
like, it was puppet sex, or was it way before, or was it AIDS music? Like,
It
what?
was the 8 song where she was like, "This is kind of weird, but I'll let it slide."
Yeah, you let the 8 songs slide, but then it gets puppet sex comes so much later
I
than
know.
you know what I mean.
Right.
Like that's deep in
There's
it.
a lot.
Um,
I even like comprehended the puppet sex the first time I watched it. I was like, "You can do this in movies?" Like I've like, and I was definitely young enough too to not even know half those sex scenes, like half those sex positions
You learn a
were.
lot.
You know.
so,
But
like,
do you think it's weird that they don't have genitalia there? Because even Shitstorm, the puppet there has like a penis.
Do I,
no, I think it's one of those things where them not having it's like your Barbie and your Kens. It's like
Yeah.
an action figure.
G.I. Joe and your Barbie
Yeah.
try to smash.
Yeah. I don't think it's weird at all. I think it's actually makes it 10 times hotter and 10 times funnier.
it's really funny that there isn't. Yeah, I don't know how it would have worked with a fake puppet dick because
It wouldn't be as funny,
Yeah,
right?
I don't even think
They're all angels. That's the thing.
Like, has there been like a sex scene with that many sex positions without being a porno?
No.
Like in a movie.
I don't. I mean, I feel like I've watched shows where people are in different sex scenes. I guess, but you're not actually seeing the sex because it's acting.
But it's a lot. It is a lot.
That's
I mean,
just my
they do
topic.
the whole
Like-
Kama Sutra book there.
They really did cover all that. Maybe to stop.
I think at one point was it they do like she's like upside down and he's like, you know, they do like the legs on top of legs and he's like sitting on top of her.
Dude, they well, wait, okay, like we still have to take it back a little bit, I think. Where like because the whole thing could just be puppet sex and I would be comfortable.
Yeah, let's talk about what people
But I
really
think-
want to hear about.
I think we're doing ourselves and anybody who potentially may be listening to this a massive disservice if we don't discuss the fact that like an actor is recruited for the world police because they need an actor to
But like at the end, like they said, like if if you're a spy, you're basically just an actor.
Truly, 100%.
But if you think about like, it's even worse. Like when the actor make more sense than the team leader or whatever, because when they're like, this is the guy, a specialist in martial arts. She can read minds. She's a psychologist. This is a quarterback from college or whatever.
Well, I think it comes down to that, like, big actors like think that they're so
Yeah.
important to the world
Oh no, yeah.
that of course the government's gonna hire them.
Oh no, that's what literally what they say it drove them to this. They said was like watching Sean Penn talking that they make fun in a movie too that he went to, I think, Iraq and talk on CNN about it. And they're like, those guys think they're way more important than they are. And they
Yeah.
mentioned that it's like when they say the puppies think they're wolves inside, and they say like actors think they're like way more important than they are. So that's
Oh, okay,
like,
yeah, okay. That's a funny analogy. I like that.
And the other thing, so they recruit him. He ultimately says yes. And then where is their base? Their base is inside fucking Mount Rushmore. And what is it? The plane flies into Lincoln's nose or whatever.
Yeah.
So stupid. It's so stupid. It's so funny. And just the fact that you've got like this giant Mount Rushmore and then like moving noses and shit.
Yeah, I've never thought of Mount Rushmore the same.
No,
ever
how
again.
can you? And like that right
there's
there.
always something inside. Like wasn't like the
I mean,
Reach
Ben, as
Macaulay
as
Culkin
our
movie?
like
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
Ben, as our like resident conspiracy theorist here, I mean, do you think that there's a base hidden in Mount
Well,
Rushmore?
look, so that's the other wonderful part about all this stuff. So much truth gets spoken in these movies that people are like, "Oh, that's goofy, haha." I bet the government's got a base somewhere. Well, fuck yeah, and it's inside Mount Rushmore. They're telling you the secrets in these movies, making you laugh at them.
That's why they're making fun of Michael Moore, right? With him with the hot
It's
dogs.
so you can exactly. It's so they can tell you the truth without telling you the full truth. Do you see what I mean? Like there's also a thing in I guess sort of like in sort of magical thinking and these sort of like ritualistic sort of things that they have to do. There is a notion of being straightforward with what you're doing. You're always supposed to still declare intent,
Yeah.
but how you do it, it doesn't say that you can't disguise it a little bit. It doesn't say that you can't, make a little haha out of it. And if people choose to believe it or whatever, no,
Well, I believe.
I firmly believe there is a base inside of Mount Rushmore. Done. Done. Any other massive
And like
monument.
it looks huge because like you can see the BTS2 of the set. Like they built that whole
They're
like the whole
huge.
garage plus like
Yeah.
top room. Yeah.
Like, and all of that, the guys the people that were making it, the people that designed it, the people that built the whole thing out, just so much talent. And can you imagine
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
money?
the art department sold the movie on this one. Like the script is good,
Good
like
point.
all this stuff, but like the art department here is like the star.
And it's because of the details, man. I mean, like literally, even look at Leo's background. I mean, you can see all like the like kind of clay in the,
Right.
in the background. Like all like the sand is like perfectly like in perspective. Even like whatever these little jars are, there's like signs.
The
on the
no
wall.
camel
And then you
crossing
can-
or whatever.
Yeah, and then you can see behind them. There's still like perspective where it still goes down. Like yeah, so it's really in the art direction, the art team on this that sells like the scope
Yeah.
of this movie.
Yeah.
Imagine like the same exact movie live action. I feel like it would not be half as entertaining.
It wouldn't. It would just be every other
Yeah.
action movie. Yep. Like it would just
Yep.
be here's
It will be
His
like a
expensive
Seth Rogen
stock.
movie, I think. Like how they did the what's the interview is the name of that one?
oh,
The
no the
interview
interview. The interview.
was funny though. I thought like it was
But I mean, like it's not Team America
Right.
kind of.
right. It just like I think Team America like literally if you just translate this script and this story to live action, it would not be as entertaining as the interview. Like I think you know what I mean. Like I think the interview would still be more entertaining.
Because the interview has like the whole like North Korea thing
Yeah.
that they go interact, but now it's with the son because here we still had the dad alive.
Yeah, that
Kim
was definitely
Jong-il.
a timepiece, right?
Yeah, I think the puppets are just way
Yeah.
funnier. You know what I mean? Because it all just feels goofy. You know what I mean? None of it feels like, I don't know, real people. I like that it's just like, it's just really a hyper weird kind of world that pokes fun at our world.
Also, I guess people on Spotify they won't see my background, but don't the main puppet actually look more like Matt Damon than Matt Damon puppet?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gary.
It's just me.
Yeah.
If I remember, I think I read something online that they based him off Ben Affleck.
Oh, okay.
funny.
They're like the same person, so that makes sense. They like I get them confused all the
Exactly.
time. Yeah, that checks out.
I don't think it looked like Ben.
Like similar
I
vibes.
just said that's what I read.
So
I think
let me just do like since I picked this, I want to do a little flexing here. So
Oh, Fleck.
one time like I'm not part of the editors guild. I wish I was, but like sometimes I get to go to some of the events there, and I had like a event that I stayed the whole day, listened to I'm gonna butcher his name because I don't know how to say his last name, but Thomas Vogt. It's like Vogt. I don't know how to pronounce that, but he was the editor for Team America.
Cool.
So like I even
Oh,
got
sick.
earlier to the event, and he got there. We just like chatting on the couch of the place there on the lobby, and I was like, "Oh, it's you! Oh, cool."
Nice.
He's like super nice, and he was the editor for South Park.
Oh wow.
I think from probably like season 2 or the middle of season 1 up to Team America time. That was like one of the last projects he did there.
That's pretty cool.
So he on this whole day there, he was mostly talking about like everything he'd done so far, but like mostly like South Park. He broke down like a scene, how they edit. They give us like a script piece of like an old episode. And he did also another thing you guys did before that I believe I wasn't on this episode, but he also added Ian Flux.
No shit.
That's right. We missed you on that one. That's really cool
No
that he
shit.
edited that.
Yeah, like I don't know, he was
Here.
the main editor, but he was part of the team that worked.
So did you ask him any questions about Team America?
I believe I did. I think I was also asking a lot of the Impractical Jokers movie because he was the editor for that, and I was saying like, oh, we're working on this movie for Trauma, that we're gonna get the Jokers there, but then they couldn't go because they're shooting this movie. And also he added, I just saw here, I forgot about this. He added 2 episodes of 10-Year-Old Tom.
Oh wow,
He
that's a lot of work.
Yeah, no, he did. Let me see if I can see here what the 2 episodes were. It was like the yearbook and the one that he pees on the Boston stadium.
Oh, the Boston Stadium. Well, yeah, so this guy's a good editor.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
So yeah, that was my flex.
No, yeah, and
Nice.
I can flex a little bit too. I went to the Paramount studio tour a couple of years ago. You could visit Paramount or whatever, and they had sets from this all like still like in their like warehouse they brought you to. So I got to see the Paris set,
cool.
some of the Durker stand,
Was everything
you know,
blown
all
up?
that kind of stuff.
Like what?
No, I mean like the Paris still had one building. It was like a building, like one building per side. It was tall. It was about my height, and like it was super detailed. And yeah, it's like amazing when you look at it. You see like because you look at it and it's small, but then your brain also tells you that it's big. You know what I mean? Because it looks like a thing that you think is big, and that's the weird thing
That's
about
cool.
it.
That's
Like
crazy.
I would think that, and I hate to be this way, but I would think that would be shit that would probably get chucked over
That's why I mean, yeah, I mean,
over
that's what I
20
think
years.
too,
I
but-
mean, you know,
no, but they have it there. I mean, it's displayed, so you know they have it like somewhere.
that's funny.
And
That's
it's
funny.
only some of the sets. It wasn't all of it, so I'm sure a lot of it got destroyed.
I mean, yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
the sad part, Ben. I mean,
Oh.
look at you as you know you're our resident art department here. Like imagine
Bro.
building these awesome sets right here, and then all right, after spending like 80 hours a day on this shit, all right, it's over. Burn it to the ground.
Oh, like, I mean, but again, too. I mean, I guess that's sort of the thing. Like it lives on forever on film, But at the end of the day, you take that time, you make the thing.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to take it to their garage. Nobody wants to turn their garage into Paris for me.
And then-
James, you don't remember the end of Shitstorm? How it was all like,
Say it too, Ben. Now to like flip it as a filmmaker with though you're cursed the weird year props, right? I mean, like how many of that are you really gonna keep at the end of the day? You know, like
Oh,
can
right.
you even keep all this shit? In
I have 5 stuffed deer heads at the laundromat right now, taking up space. I have a bunch of like dicks in a bowl. Like I have, it is insane.
The
It's the
Tromaville
2
sign?
racks. I have the Tromaville sign. It's still just sitting there. It's like on its legs, but that's a thing I'm never gonna
Yeah.
get rid of. How could I
yeah,
ever?
but you
get
need
rid
to
Yeah.
keep for every other movie to keep in the same universe, like South Tromaville universe. So STU.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
And then in the STU, we have to keep it. So the only thing that'll ever change is the population. But at the
So at a
end
certain
of the
point, though, you have to get rid of your props as much as you would like to.
you have to get rid of something. You have to like. Do you know what I'm going to start with? And I hate to be this way, but I know exactly what I'm starting with. It's the over purchase of costuming that we did. Yeah. Connor went ham, and I love him, and I love him for it. But holy shit, he went ham. He got so much stuff, and we used such a fraction of it. But
You should have put the rhinestones in.
you know,
So
what?
for the next movie, like for people to notice as like a crazy like trivia thing, you need to, when you change the number of people living in South Tromaville, you need to deduct like all the people that die on where they're and be exactly that number.
That died specifically in Where Deer from the last time we see it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Smart. But then that doesn't account for the births that have happened.
Oh, yeah. Babies are born in South
Babies
Mobile.
are born.
Unless
But
it's
it was just
literally the
the
next
hunters
day.
on hunter sex. So how they gonna how anybody gonna get pregnant then?
Touche, sir. Very good point.
Now to bring it back a bit, though, so we get a little bit later in the movie, right? And then like, so Gary, after he bangs his girl, we get that the puppet sex scene,
Mhm.
right? What? And he promises that what? He's like, promise me you'll never die.
Right.
You know,
That's so funny.
Right now. He's like, I promise I will never die.
That was maybe my favorite exchange.
That's how he gets laid.
Yep.
Promise me you'll never die. Well, what? I promise you I'll never die. And
Yeah. She's like, if you were to say that, I would make love to you right now. And he's like, I promise I will never die. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
But then
that is
so when is that's after, right? He already infiltrated them, right? After he infiltrated Durkistan, and then he went on. And then when do they get attacked? When does that happen? Right?
oh my god.
So he. Let me remember here.
They kicked his
The
and then they
fuck,
get
I forgot everybody's name on this movie.
right because Gary blames himself for killing everyone again, right?
Yeah, no, he leaves, and then everybody go on a mission without him, and everybody get captured. And while they're getting like before they get captured, I forgot his name. He got inside Mount Rushmore and explode. and then everybody lose the intelligence computer, and then they get captured. So it is, and why this is happening? The main puppet is in a bar, getting wasted, the whole like, oh, they're dicks, pussies, and assholes, like the whole thing.
Yeah.
What a
Another
great line.
bit. Yeah.
And
That's the line that sounds a lot like Mr. Garrettson. Whoever says that,
Yeah.
whoever
and
character. says
then when it comes back at the
Mhm.
end of the film
I
too.
love that.
Hey,
Oh.
man, if you can research it real quick and read it for us.
Okay, yeah, hang on, give me 2
And
seconds.
it's the last monologue, not the first one, the one that he gives at the end, because that goes on a
Like,
little longer.
It's amazing.
But
Absolutely amazing.
Also, I love like when he go to Mount Rushmore and say like, oh, everything's destroyed, and then the boss comes, and he's like, where's everybody? And the boss like, they got captured because you're not there. Like if the actor would do any difference, or people that are like trained to do something.
And like I like when he gets like wasted at the bar wherever he steps outside and pukes like nonstop. Like, they just throw
Yeah.
hose on him. It's like
Just
It
imagine
is-
how many shots they have of that whole scene.
The puddle is huge, the biggest puke puddle ever.
So, and
Ben.
Joey says that is hands down his favorite bit.
Ah,
It's
like our
something
shout
he
out to
remembers the most.
Nice.
All right. We're dicks. We're reckless, arrogant, stupid dicks. And the Film Actors Guild are pussies. And Kim Jong Il is an asshole. Pussies don't like dicks because pussies get fucked by dicks. But dicks also fuck assholes. Assholes who just want to shit on everything. Pussies may think they can deal with assholes their way, but the only thing that can fuck an asshole is a dick with some balls. The problem with dicks is that sometimes they fuck too much or fuck when it isn't appropriate. And it takes a pussy to show them that. But sometimes pussies get so full of shit that they become assholes themselves. Because pussies are only an inch and a half away from assholes. I don't know much in this crazy, crazy world, but I do know that if you don't let us fuck this asshole, we're going to have our dicks and pussies all covered in
Yeah.
shit. Wow.
Now that's a monologue. Like
So
that's
good.
what used to be teaching film school kids about when actors have monologues.
Yeah.
And they don't teach writing like that. They don't teach that in school.
Right.
They don't
You know what?
understand.
It's so
Like,
dumb, but it's so right.
it's so
Like
accurate.
you listen to it and you're like, yeah.
No, I get that. I can get behind this. Like, it's so good. I actually went back when me and Jen were first kind of getting in. I had to turn on the oven, and then I went back and I was like, I have to watch the last 10 minutes of the movie again because I wanted to hear
Yeah.
it again. I needed to hear that again, and it's motivational.
Yeah.
It's hysterical. Best bit in the movie.
Yeah.
Best bit in the movie. Well, one of many best bits
One
in
It's
of
this
up
movie.
there, top 5, I'd say
Because
for
we haven't
sure.
even gotten to the big North Korea stuff yet because he joins back in and right he has to use his acting skills to
Well, we've skipped over, and it's fairly earlier, or it's much earlier on than where we're at right now. But what is arguably one of the most racist songs ever recorded? "I'm So Ronry."
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
What is it? Matt Stone was saying he wished that he would get an Oscar nomination for it.
No,
he
but
should've.
he said like if he got, he wanted Kim Jong Un to come himself to the
sing it.
Oscars.
Now they did say like I mean obviously we keep talking about this behind the scenes, but they keep saying that they did base a lot of this off of Kim Jong Il, like about like they did a lot of research on his eccentricness and who he was, and like they said this is only like a fraction of like what he's like, because he said that he would write movies, like he would direct shows.
Oh no, yeah, like
Dude,
North
so-
Korea like kidnaps sometimes like directors from I guess South Korea
Yeah.
to make their movies.
They held a director and his like an ingenue, like his muse. They kidnapped them, made them live in North Korea, basically in like a prison, and then write, direct, produce, make all of these films that are like North Korean propaganda for literally years.
Yeah.
And I'm
Years.
sure he
Also-
took all the credit for directing them.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, did you also, since we're in North Korea, like I saw like when they're explaining about the set, because like it's like a big palace, but everything's just like extra poor people because all the money just go.
It looked
But like
like
all the houses
of, like,
around
you know,
the palace.
I've been watching a lot of these old like kung fu and like Hong Kong movies and Asian movies from the 70s, and it just looks like this 1800s, like just like Asian poor town in the big palace. Like it's just.
But did you see how they make that? All the houses are made of Chinese takeout boxes.
So
That's
good.
amazing.
Like, so here's the thing, just so, and you can look it up on Wikipedia. I'm gonna butcher these names because I'm American and I don't know the language. I'll say it phonetically. It's the abduction of Shin Sang Ok and Choi Eun Hee.
How did they get out?
So it occurred in North Korea between 1978 and 86. Shin Sang-ok was a famous South Korean film director who was married to the actress Choi Eun-hee. They established their film company. They were abducted in Hong Kong and taken to North Korea by Kim Jong-il. The abduction of that was the ingenue, the actress. She was abducted first, and then the director was later. In '86, they both escaped from North Korea supervision to a U.S. embassy while they were in Vienna.
Ah, wow. I'm glad they got out.
So-
but damn, yeah.
Yeah,
That shit's crazy.
but
That's
could
ridic-
like 8 years in captivity, forced to
yeah.
make film.
So that's why it's
God.
like, it's just, ridiculous as a movie is, to them to be like Kim Jong Il is like, can be this insane and do this.
Yeah.
Oh,
do-
it's
Yeah.
so much worse. Like, have you seen all the fake stuff that people believe that he did when he was alive? Like how he never pooped, or
Yeah.
I think they said that he doesn't have an asshole actually. There's like he got like a hole in one and the whole golf thing. I don't know. It's like a bunch of like random things that they believe that he's like almost like a god, but like he died though.
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to be able to.
Yeah.
It's really fucked up what they tried to tell people when you're like ruler for life, dictator for life. Like that shit is insane.
But honestly, true. I saw a video the other day in England. I believe it could be like London, that they asked like this lady like if the queen ever farted. She's like, no, she never farted. And then like, so she also never pooped. Like, yeah, she never pooped. At least not when she was a queen. Like, what? How that works?
All that happened before she became queen.
She should have
Like,
lauded them
honest
because she was queen for a while. Like she had to share like everything before she get a crown.
But again, I want a human leader. Do you know what I mean? Like I want my leaders to be fallible, to be
not like-
human.
They need to know what you're feeling to know how to fix it for you. Like if they're so above, like how they gonna empathize to what you're dealing with.
But yeah, but now we
If-
get into the North Korea with these, and that's when we get into the Film Actors Guild. I won't go into the acronym of it, but the Film Actors Guild comes in, and when it's like here's like and Alec Baldwin, right? Is like Gary's like number one like dude who's like that's my idol right
Best
there.
actor.
Alec Baldwin,
Yeah.
best actor in the world.
I was not
So-
expecting that. So, like I said, I haven't seen this before, so I like didn't realize there was going to be that whole like.
I mean, so Ben, you
Yeah.
probably remember 2004 better than all of us. I mean, these are still big actors now, but like, how much was like Alec
Yeah.
Baldwin like out in the media around like 2004? I mean,
He's always been huge. Always been
He's
huge.
a big guy.
Let's see. Yeah, right. Zing. What was he doing in 2004? Let's see. That's
it's
because
still pre 30 Rock. I think that's like 7.
it
Or
Oh yeah, yeah.
it's pre 30 Rock. Alec Baldwin. I mean, maybe he was less so, but he had a
and
string
what
of
fact
hits
that
by
they're
that time.
parodying like an actual thing the actors did, right? Where like they were against like the Iraq War. Wasn't like isn't that what they're doing? Like some commercial they did.
Well, so, and to put it in more of like a context that people could more so understand now, it's like when Hurricane Katrina happened and you had Mike Myers and Kanye West talking about it, and the actors rose up
Oh, it's
and
like
did their
Gal
thing.
Okay.
You know
Did
what I
the
mean?
like Imagine song on TikTok.
It's right. It's like when Gal Gadot did.
Oh my
Imagine,
gosh.
Or Imagine. It's actors have always wanted to put themselves in the forefront, and I think this movie does a really good job of it. But it's always been a thing that they have done. Always.
Also,
been a
Alec
thing that they
Baldwin
have done.
did Pearl Harbor too. So
Yeah. But no, Alec Baldwin was huge at this point in time, and he was one of those voices for actors being activist as well.
okay.
Him, Sean Penn, all of
There was
them.
like the
Yeah.
one with like Susan Sarandon where she's like tied up and she was like, no, I was here to I was against them. I'm on your side. They're like, no,
Yeah.
she's acting.
She's
Yeah.
acting. I fucking love it. I love
I'm seeing like all his pre 2004 stuff here. He did like a lot of voice for cartoons too. Like Thomas, like the train thing. He was like all over this. But yeah, he did like before that like Friends. But I think like the bigger things that he did was probably like 2001 and before.
Yeah, I thought maybe
Like
he was
he-
in the news.
He's Leonardo on Clerks.
Oh, he is.
So,
That's funny. Yeah, I just thought maybe he was in the news for something around that time that I didn't catch or something.
Not so much in the news, but he was becoming that elder statesman that he ultimately became.
Well,
You know,
He
right up
shot
until they killed that. Yeah.
but
no, that's
But yeah, so then we get into right now we're finally at the last bit. I remember there's a point where like they released the Panthers, and then like these two black hats like jump through these glass, just
Yeah.
start eating the puppets.
Yeah.
it's so dumb.
I wonder how, like, 'cause it was really good because they had those cats like destroy those dudes and like rip off an arm and like run away with it. Like I wonder like. Oh, they must have like
Maybe they put what's it in catnip or something. I don't know. They
Yeah.
wrote those puppets with something.
They had to have. They easily had to have. And yeah.
but just
But,
when it's like the Panthers get released and it's just like these two cats. Like that's what like I love about this too is because they try so hard to like you see the perspective of everything where it feels like you're watching a normal movie, but then they like to fuck with you and remind you that they're toys by having like fish tank sharks and like cats be panthers.
Good. And I know we're getting there because we're coming up to near the end-ish of the film. But what about Gary coming back to the team?
Oh,
When
yeah, that's interesting you bring that up. Even though this movie's crazy and chaotic and offensive, it still felt out of character for him to suck that dude's dick.
Well, he's an actor.
I thought it was completely insight. You have
Yeah.
to prove
Yeah.
that you want to save your country, and you have to be trusted again.
So sucking dick makes you trust it again?
I think they only did that
In
because
that
that was like the
instance-
first joke. Since he was like an actor, he's like, "I need you to come with me and enter this place," and they're like, "Oh," because that's how like probably like what's his name Harvey
Yeah, they're like, oh,
kind of situation.
yeah,
And
producer.
and then they brought it back later.
So-
I don't know. I feel like
That
I
makes
I don't know,
sense to
I'm
me.
more with Nicole.
it's
Like
a
calling
callback.
back to
yeah.
the joke makes sense to me. I don't know. I don't know. It seemed like Gary in every other part of the film was like able to like be like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I don't know, kind of like stand up for himself or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that makes it a selfless act, though, Nicole. That's the thing. He has to lose sense of self in that
But I don't
moment.
understand
He
how
has to
sucking a
give
dick
something
makes
to
you
the
prove
team.
that.
Yeah, he just
I mean, other than the fact
him,
that
forcing him to
Ceiling-
do something he doesn't want to do.
Right. Like I don't know. I thought it was just like weird. I don't know.
Oh, I
Also,
get
they don't
that.
have
You
dicks.
have to be.
Well, that too. They
they
also
don't
don't have
have
dicks.
But at the end of the day, no. So it becomes less about self right? And it becomes about what's best for the greater good and the notion of having to do anything for the greater good in that moment, right? So if the only way that you will gain access to the team's equipment and everything, because he's already destroyed the trust of the team, well, you got to suck this dick. Or, and granted, it didn't have to be that, but
Okay, but
to Leo's point,
and it's
that's the first thing. That's the joke.
but the thing's
It's
like
their
it's not
first
like
bonding
that guy want them to die. Like he shouldn't. It's not like that guy's like I don't care
Yeah.
what happens because it's like they're people
Yeah.
too. Like he shouldn't be like that's the only way. That's like the part. It make less sense for that guy to ask for that than for him to do this as what you're saying. Because like,
Yeah.
it's like
He's also dying though too. In that moment, you think he's dying.
But then they
The last
go
thing he's ever
to,
gonna get is Gary's sweet lips on his dick. I mean,
But then we finally get over to North Korea, and I like that he like Obi-Wan's his way, like through the inside. Where he was like, "I want to let me in. I'm part of the Film Actors Guild." And then he's like, "God damn
So
it, he
good.
is a good actor." But yeah,
yeah.
although you were saying
Ooh.
something, Ben, I guess
No, I thought you were saying.
that's it. This is the end of the show, guys. All right.
I think that's the one pregnant pause. I know you like to take them out. I think that's the one pregnant pause you have to leave in there, and people are gonna hear us both go, but yeah, and then nobody follows anything with any level of
I thought my
anything
screen
whatsoever.
froze. I was like drinking water and I looked over. I was like, wait, people still aren't talking? What's happening?
I thought you two were gonna
Insult.
kiss. That's like the awkward pause you do before you kiss.
Yeah, what if we just kissed?
Well, you tell me the only way that I could save the show with Leo leaving is if I sucked his dick.
I'm good,
So-
man. It's fine. I believe you.
Oh man. Fuck yes. Let's get to the end of this movie, right? So Alec Baldwin has this speech, right? And then there's bombs that are gonna attack every major city. And then I remember, like, you give us this passionate speech that you recited earlier, Ben, about dicks and assholes all over dicks and pussies. But then I love when Kim Jong Il falls, and he falls on that. I don't know what country that is or how to describe that hat, but like long spiky
Yep.
hat. He just falls, and the dude is just like,
Oh,
whoa! He's just moving his head back.
like it is. I don't even know how to put it, dude. There's so much, again, absurdity. They play into culture in ways that people are scared to do now. They're scared to play with culture this way, right? And maybe for good reason, maybe not so much. And for as offensive as it can be and has the potential to be, I still think that the jokes are elevated enough to a point to where it's not that insulting. You know what I mean?
And,
I
like,
really
as far as
don't-
I know, I mean, unless Leo, you found out in your research, doesn't seem like any of these actors really all that pissed either.
I didn't see
Well,
anything
not the
about
actors.
it, but yeah, I don't know. Like,
Didn't North Korea ban it or something like that?
I
Or
mean,
like the strike?
Sure.
okay,
that.
they're gonna like. What is allowed to get there as a movie though?
That's fair.
Nothing. They have their own media because they're scared for people.
But like
to
even like
watch.
something you think is harmless, they still gonna show like a different culture that people could be like, oh, I kind of like this idea of culture, and then it's still bad for
Oh,
them.
Right. Right.
Yeah. You mean we could have electricity? What? Yeah. North Korea, I think the only things that they allow in are like a little bit of
And Justin.
sports.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, and Justin.
It's an inside joke here. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
the two
we'll leave it
people,
at
though. Remember,
that. Yeah. But like that's the thing. Outside of maybe like a North Korea, and even then, Even they've admitted, they said, we mentioned it a couple of times earlier, they didn't give it the send up that it fully could have gotten or may have deserved. Do you know what I mean? But I think with things like the fucking French, the croissants in the sidewalk or whatever, who cares? That's funny.
Well,
you know
like
what I mean?
I said earlier, this whole movie is made through the perspective of how Americans view the world. So for me, it's not Matt Stone and Trey
Right.
Parker making fun of these people directly. It's him making fun of us about how we look at those people.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's a healthy point. It's saying ignorant Americans see the world
Yeah.
like this.
So like they're laughing at
Yeah.
like we're laughing at it, but they're laughing at us laughing at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
yeah,
me.
yeah.
I watched this in Brazil.
As a world citizen. As a world citizen, Leo.
All right. Well, I
Amazing.
guess I don't know what else to talk about this thing. So Ben, you already had a good speech already. What are you giving the show? What are your final thoughts? What do you gotta?
No, I think everybody should watch it. I do think that, like everything that is sort of topical and ripped from the headlines, it's a smidge dated and will stay dated. But as far as like it being like a slice of time, it's perfect.
And
Yeah,
someone in the
hysterical.
chats under the name "No One Is Everyone" just asked, "What is this about?" I just joined. What is this about, Ben?
Oh, what, Team
I
America
don't know.
or
It
Totally
just says, "What is
Toonular?
this about?" So what is this about? You just joined.
It's you know what it's about? It's about dicks, pussies, and buttholes.
Yep. Yep.
Is really what it's about. It's
Oh,
you know,
Dick
dicks.
fuck pussies, but dicks also fuck assholes. The dicks a dick would also fuck an asshole.
But like it's an amazing movie. It's an amazing movie. It's a technical feat. It's a whole bunch of stuff. Like it's
do you
wonderful.
rate?
Yeah, huge success.
Success.
You just Martin, Nicole, what are your final thoughts? What are you giving this movie?
Yeah, so I'm definitely giving it a success. Earlier today, 4th of July, I was watching a documentary on Super Marionation. And it mentioned this Super Marionation from the 1960s that like used aquariums in front of models, right? Like in front of the puppets to create the illusion of being underwater. And I realized that Team America did that too with that dude who was dropped in the water. I wasn't sure how they did that though, because the shark was like attacking that puppet. I was like, oh, how'd they like accomplish? Like how? I wasn't sure how they.
Some sort of just food.
Maybe they put some blood or meat, something to trigger. I don't know.
Yeah, it was maybe it was cool. I thought it was a green screen, and then I mean, at least at that portion, it was not.
Well, yeah,
So-
I mean, it's like a real fish tank. Yeah, it's like a normal sized fish tank, and then it's like one of the you can get like a shark, like pet at like a pet store somewhere, like a mini, like little baby shark thing. And I'm sure that's what that was.
So our new friend, No One Is Everyone, just got grounded because their mother heard me, apparently, and then typed it in.
We missed another
I'm very sorry.
listener.
Yeah.
Nicole, so what
Yeah.
do you give this?
So I do give this movie a success. I think it did a lot of really cool things with Super Marionation. I think it's very interesting, very cool to watch. Very much would recommend it to everyone that's listening.
Success.
Yeah. Saving you for last, Theo, because I love this movie. I've watched it so many fucking times. Also, I think this is Matt Stone and Trey Parker's last movie. Like, I don't think they've ever made a movie since this.
They made
Am I-
South Park movies,
But no, but the South
like
Park, but those-
specials.
yeah, but I meant like theatrical movies. Like they haven't done one since this. And I think this
question.
actually like burned them pretty hard.
They traumatized and then they decided to make Broadway shows.
Yeah. I mean, the Book of Mormon, pretty good move.
I
It
guess
seems.
I guess that did seem like the better option to just do.
Pretty
And
good
we didn't
business
even touch
decision.
how they love musicals because like we talked about that lonely music, but like all the music.
Cannibal the musical.
No, I mean like on
And,
this.
Yep.
Team America, like all the
And this,
soundtrack.
yeah.
Each moment they had like different like song that is just as stupid as the movie is too.
The Pearl Harbor song, I think, was my favorite. That was very funny. Pearl Harbor song, where you guys remember that one? Where he's like, it's like the montage of him driving around, and the road's like bigger than him, and he's talking about how bad Pearl Harbor is.
Oh no, yeah, I like the montage song too. That they have a song just for the montage.
When he's just driving around, and you're in this mini world for a while, and then when he's driving around all sad, and the world is back to normal. That is like far one of the funniest.
I love when they do that. Yeah.
Go to that like Saving Private Ryan like gravesite or whatever, and he's just like the same size as all the graves.
Yeah, I love when they play with the it's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I fucking love this movie. I've watched it so many goddamn times in my life. It's ever not funny. Yeah, definitely, it's a little dated with the Iraq War stuff, but even
it's historical now.
Yeah, it's historical. But I love it. It's absolutely hilarious. It's like, yeah, we talk about a bunch. That puppet sex scene is still one of the craziest things. Like,
yeah,
the fact that this movie's made for what, 30 million? Look at all these amazing sets and all this, and they were just like, all right, we're gonna have all these puppets, and they're gonna do like all these different positions. And Matt Stone and Trey Parker are geniuses. As like crazy and like dumb-ish. I say dumb as like
in a good way.
Yeah. Their shit is really smart. It's like they know what they're attacking, what they're making fun of in every way. Where that's why I think nobody ever really calls them out on their shit. Like why they never got canceled or whatever. It's because they know how to express their shit in a way that's actually funny and not just, I don't know.
And often pretty thought-provoking too, right? Like,
exactly.
I think we had this conversation when we watched South Park. Like, don't get me wrong, there are some episodes where it's like, okay, just a fart joke or whatever. But then there are other episodes where it's like, no, it's a fart joke, and they're making fun of like smug people that are like, driving, whatever. Yeah.
The most recent season, there's a thing about the Japanese toilets where it's like, they talk about the British stuff and and like the whole episode's about how much Americans spend money on toilet paper, and it goes into like there's like a toilet paper like conspiracy on stuff. But it made me start thinking of like how much of, like that's not wrong. I mean, why are we spending all this money on toilet paper?
Yeah.
Let's just buy a bidet.
Yeah, just buy a bidet.
Yep.
I have a bidet here at the house, and like we spend less on toilet paper. Your butthole is 10 times cleaner. Like it's amazing.
And it took South Park to make me realize that.
My water bill has not jumped at all. Like at all. Water bill's still roughly the same.
So I grew up like in Brazil. We have bidets there like since ever. Like my both grandparents' house when I grew up, they're like old school bidet. That you had like a toilet and you had another one that is just bidet. For some reason, it's really wasteful of time, space, and everything. It's just like another bowl of toilet, but just to come water on it. But like the houses, the newer ones they don't have this. They have like a little hose that you use kind of like as bidet too. But like I finally got on Amazon a couple months ago, like one for my house here too. That's super easy to install. You guys should all have bidets.
Yeah, I do.
Did you get the one that's on the back of the toilet that like you remove the seat and then you put it there at an angle?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yep, that's the one I have. Thing is amazing.
Hybrid cards. That's what I want to say. Hybrid cars. I totally blanked out on what that was before. If anyone cares about that, just like that South Park will make like lowbrow, highbrow, like what Trauma does too, right? Like it'll like make a really offbeat, like gross joke, and that's what I thought this movie was doing. But it's like no, this like, but also this commentary is really smart and gets me thinking. So,
well, I'm going to give this movie a
success.
Because America, fuck yeah. Leo, what do you give this? What are your final thoughts? Because these are your final thoughts.
I know. I would never have another final thoughts because they're actually final this time.
No.
But it's just like, sorry, I keep dragging the thing longer and longer. Maybe I don't want it to finish. But it's just one thing we forgot to mention that I discovered today watching one of those many different behind the scenes that I watch. This came out a couple weeks before the election for president that year. And people were like yelling at them from both sides, saying that this movie would maybe affect the election. And the answer was like, if you go watch the movie and this make you switch your vote, you shouldn't be voting. So that's so that was the answer for this. Yeah, so I think it's good. The movie is a success. I think
Success.
some jokes we grew up and learned that they're kind of extra offensive, and we evolved this. We can judge for something that happened at a time that people still like don't know better, I guess. Um, but like yeah, like overall, like the message and everything, they again they punch both sides on the whole thing. They're just trying to be funny, making each other laugh at the end. That's what they keep saying all the time. That it's just like Matt and Trey trying to like they don't care about anything else. They're just trying to make each other laugh. And
That's how you should make a movie.
yeah, and the things like
Yeah.
they like again they punch like every side, but at the same time they're showing like that's how the rest of the world view America to Americans to be like, yeah, you guys think like you can just go to any country do like whatever, but that's how the other
Right.
countries view you guys. Like I don't want to justify like terrorists because like you shouldn't be doing this at all, but like a lot of people start like thinking like I guess when they enter like those groups because they feel like oh those Americans came to my country for like freedom, but they want to just like my oil and they destroy my whole house trying to free us, and like now I don't have anything. So like still it's not justifiable to do any terrorist act, but like that's how a lot of people end up hating America because of stuff like this. It's almost
Yeah.
like a Power Ranger going wrong because Power Rangers just like them trying to save the city but destroying the city basically. So I don't know. It's just like a interesting kind of view. Like especially when I watched the first time, I watched as someone that didn't live here yet. Was even before I came here for the first time ever. So you had like a different kind of view, and it was fun to watch again and see like things that I missed the first time.
Well, so success, Leo.
Yep.
Success.
His last success, man. And you know what? I'll break the fourth wall a little bit here. You know, we are pre-recording this, so it's not like really your last episode, really, but it also is going to be your last episode. We're airing, and yeah. So like when your real last episode, I'll have like a little more prepared, and you know, I'll have big.
Yeah, prepare
body
for war. It's just we hug the screen. It's fine.
But damn, Leo, you know, it's still this is crazy. You know, this is really going to be your last episode air that people are going to hear the Antonio Banderas of podcasting. So what are your final thoughts on Totally Toonular?
Success.
It would be great if you just went and then
Fuck
hung up the
this.
call. Like
And I'd be like,
Nice. Nice. Middle finger to the Totally Tunular
I
co-host.
quit. Yeah, like those quitting videos that we see online. No, I want to thank all you guys for all your patience of me shitting on cartoons every week. Because like even when I like the cartoon, and
Like,
everybody
somebody's got to
like,
give the ant.
yeah, we need someone to bring. We can just all be agreeing all the time. We need to find the bad stuff just to make a little spicy. But yeah, I want to just thank everybody for letting me be part of this. I'm not like living forever in a way. Like I'm just being downgraded to Hall of Toonies. So like anytime you guys need me as a guest, I will be a guest. But it's just like being here every week, unfortunately, is the difference now. And like my son Joey said, like I'm doing what I do best is leave. Because I've been
Right,
like,
on
as a
Instagram.
kid.
Right.
And
And Leo, you got
I
a
love it.
fan already in the chat, and you're
oh yeah.
you're leaving.
Oh, hey, sorry, I'm like reading here right now. No one is everyone.
It says here the dude in the top left be spitting facts.
Oh yeah.
What's that guy's name?
Oh, it's like everybody. So
I
like,
mean,
I'm Leo. I'm also living. I have Nicole here.
Leaving Leo.
Yeah, living Leo. You have like Ben on my side, and a diagonal you have James. So, welcome to Totally Toonular. I hope you stay here because everybody spit facts here all the time. and you're just not gonna
Yeah.
hear me and Ben arguing about if you have rats in Mars. If you want to know more about this, watch last week's episode about Fire on Mars. And I love you too, Joey. I just saw here. Yeah, sup, Dwayne, and
Dwayne says hi.
and yeah, totally turned a success, and I feel like it's gonna be even bigger success because I know you guys gonna go way beyond, and I'm the drummer that keep holding you guys back, like on the Beatles and Blink-182 and the Wonders and all the bands. Even Nirvana was like a different drummer before Dave Grohl. So
I can't wait till like Leo just out of nowhere, like next week, he's just on another cartoon podcast with some other totally different people. Don't even know.
welcome to the Toonular.
Nice.
That's right. Never even got totally Leo.
Yeah, I know. Maybe one day we're gonna have a spin-off, Totally Leo, just for. Oh, I forgot to mention since we're still recording. I sent you guys a thing of spin-offs or reboots that might happen, and I saw something that I think I sent you guys the link right on the minute that they talk about Married with Children. They're gonna make a
Children.
spin-off
Yeah,
that is a
it's-
cartoon.
Yeah, we
Cannot wait.
we have talked about it before on the episodes we have done.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Married
I don't
with-
listen to that one because I still need to watch the show, so I don't want to get spoilers. So-
Well, that's why you watch it
Yeah.
with us. You watch it with
We also need to
Upload
maybe upload and record more.
You know, hey, I've been pretty good with all the other podcasts. You know, some of them end up slipping through the cracks. You know.
It's great, but you know what? We'll figure out a proper schedule for it, and then we'll get a couple in the bag. Maybe while I'm up there.
Oh, there you go. That's not a bad
Yeah,
idea.
you guys should
All right,
do like
well,
5 episodes in a row just to keep going. And again,
We have
yeah.
episodes backlog, just on me for not putting them out there.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh. That's silly.
But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
just sorry. Just to finish here, I'm gonna miss you guys. Still gonna be here when you guys need me. And it was a pleasure to be part of this. Like 2 years and a half almost that
Yeah.
we're done.
Yeah.
And Dwayne, I'm gonna miss you here on it. Might be on the chat sometimes here talking to Dwayne.
You hope
So yeah,
Aw,
gonna be
Leo.
yeah
You're
sad.
What the heck?
Sorry guys. I'm a buddy pooper.
You know, luckily we still we'll have the bigger send off too at the end of the month. But yeah, love you, Leo. You're the man. Antonio
Love you
Banderas, the
guys.
podcast. Well, I guess you can't ask me what's next.
I don't know.
week
Oh,
because-
okay, like what is next? What I'm not watching.
Well, what you're not watching next week. I did want to finally talk about this Amazon, not new Amazon show, but this Amazon animated show called Invincible.
Oh,
Really?
yes.
Wait for me to
Ooh.
leave?
I had to get jealous because it's amazing. Honestly, I love it. Like the pilot, like honestly, especially for like you, like Nicole, who doesn't like a lot of this shit. The pilot literally kind of plays like a regular Justice League episode for a while until like the last 5 minutes, and from that last 5 minutes sets up what the rest of the show is, and it is insane.
Cool.
It is bloody. It is fucked up. It is wild. Like it goes down a ride for
Yeah,
sure.
it's a
I've
fucked
been
up
meaning to
show.
watch
Yeah.
it.
It feels like at first you may think it's like the animated version of The Boys, but it's not, and it just has its own crazy rails it goes down.
Awesome.
But yeah, 10 episodes on Amazon. Till next week, Leo. We love you.
Yeah.
Love you,
Love
Leo.
you, Leo. Be well.
You too.
All right, peace out, everyone.
You guys, this is all Kyle's mom's fault. Shut up, Cartman. Kyle's mom is the one that started that damn club, and all because she's a big, fat, stupid bitch. Don't say it, Cartman. Well, don't do it, Cartman. Well, I'm warning you. Okay, okay.
Hello, peasants.
Want to kill all humans?
Work there, dude.
We'd like some money.
Yes, money. Money is